5 hot yoga mistakes students make in class and how to avoid them. So I'm going to show you these 5 mistakes and, more importantly, how to fix it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Let's get right into it. Mistake number 1, you're going too far too soon. You start the position and you're going so far in the beginning, or you're pushing too much in the beginning, your body's actually going to contract to protect itself and not allow you in. If you go too far too soon, the body tightens up. It's almost like an unconscious defense system that the body has because it doesn't want you to penetrate so deeply so fast because the body isn't ready for it. You're tightening up, your body can't give way. Obviously, one of the big intentions in practicing yoga, hot yoga, or any type of yoga is to create flexibility, and your range of motion is going to be restricted when your body tightens up. When I get massages, I don't mind if the masseuse goes really deep and gets into those deep inner core spots, but not too fast. If the masseuse goes too fast, my body tightens up and it doesn't allow them in. It's the same thing in yoga. Less in the beginning, more at the end. That's going to be your mantra. That's the fix. Less in the beginning, more at the end. Let's talk about side half moon, for example. Before we continue on, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or concerns, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you. Take a deep breath in, the body goes up and over to the right side. So let's imagine there's 10 parts or 10 volume controls. You're going to start out at the first setting, the first volume control. People go so far in the beginning, they tighten up and the body just pushes them out of the way. And maybe they have to get up, or maybe you have to come out of the posture too soon because you went too far too soon. So you start at that first level. And then you slowly go to the next. Halfway through the pose, you're only at level 5. That's why at the end of the posture in the Bikram world, Bikram likes to push and reach and stretch and kick and reach and push. At the end, the body is now going to allow you in if you went slow enough. Now at the very end, you can go to that number 10 level. So here's the fix. Less in the beginning, more at the end. Mistake number 2 is comparing yourself to others. Here's an important factoid to know. No two bodies, no two people will ever do yoga exactly the same. There are going to be anatomical differences. Some people are going to be stronger than they are flexible. Some people are going to be more flexible than they are strong. Some people are going to have open hips. Some people are going to have tight hamstrings. To make the comparison is insane. Now, what you can do is that you can use people, especially experienced people, and if you're a beginner, I always suggest you go into the second row or third row so you can watch the people. So you want to be inspired by the experienced people, not to be discouraged by what they can do. The Tao has a saying, no two snowflakes are ever the same. It's the same thing in yoga. No two bodies are ever going to practice the same. I learned so much by just observing the people in the front row, watching what they do, seeing how they get into the pose. The only warning I'm going to give you in this particular scenario is the standing bow, because in the standing bow, and I've talked about this many times in my videos. In fact, I have many videos on the subject. Check them out after you watch this video. But the mantra in standing bow, and this is definitely a hot yoga pose, is, drum roll, how far you kick initially depends on the flexibility of the hamstring of your standing leg. Meaning, the advanced people, the people especially have very flexible hamstrings, they have to kick as high as they possibly can in the beginning so they can release the back hip, but they have the flexibility to lower down into the pose. Now, if you're a beginner and you're watching that advanced person kicking way up in the air and you start kicking up in the air, it's too much. You're going to be stuck up in the clouds. You're going to be stuck in purgatory forever. I can't get out! So if your hamstrings are a little on the tighter side, you have to kick less.
She's going to kick up just a little bit so she can get her body down. Now when she's down, the hamstring stretching, and now she can kick up.
So you can get your body down. That's the only posture you don't want to watch an experienced advanced student. But every other pose, take a look, see what they're doing, get inspired by them. So here's the fix for mistake number 2. Don't be jealous of somebody. Don't make the comparison, make yourself wrong for what you can't do. Be inspired by the more experienced teacher and use that to fuel your practice. Mistake number 3, not listening to the teacher, not listening to the cues. In the Bikram world and the first part of the Barkan world, we do the postures exactly the same every day. In the Ashtanga world, same thing. They do the exact same alignment. So it's very easy to go on automatic if you're not listening to the cues. I was actually in Bikram's living room when he came up with the whole dialogue and made the script back in the early 90s. The exact cue to get you into the proper position in alignment so you can be the most successful you can in the pose. Now, sometimes it could be the teacher's fault. Sometimes the teacher can be in a boring, repeated pattern of speech. So I suggest seeking out a teacher that inspires you, seeking out a teacher that's more what I call conversational, which is one of the things we do in the Barkan Method teacher training programs, is to create variety of tone. Because creating variety of tone when you're teaching yoga, that's how the students are going to listen. So sometimes it could be the teacher's fault, but as a student, listen to the cues. So here's the fix. Be present. Be in the moment, even though you're maybe doing the same postures on a daily basis every day. Take a moment to really listen to what they're saying and apply those instructions to be more successful in the pose. Now, I know some people like the written word, so I created a free guide. 5 hot yoga secrets to instantly improve your practice. If you're interested in getting the guide, write down in the comments below, give me the guide, and I will directly send you the free guide. 5 hot yoga secrets to instantly improve your practice. Mistake number 4. Not coming enough, not being consistent in your practice. That's why in the Barkan Method Hot Yoga in my studio that I had in Fort Lauderdale for over 39 years, we had a 5-day challenge every January. Some Bikram schools do a 30-day challenge. 5 days a week for 2 months, transform your life.
Sounds very good.
So let me tell you the scenario. A lot of times people will come 2 or 3 times a week. When they started to take on this challenge, they started doing 5 times a week. They improved more in the first 2 weeks coming 5 days a week than they did in the previous 6 months. Because if you're 2-3 times a week, you're always in catch-up. You're not able to build any momentum. So what's my suggestion? 4 should be minimum, 5 is great, 6 is ideal. I don't like 7. If you do happen to do a 30-day challenge, I recommend you don't continue on a 7-day a week schedule because you need to take 1 day off. Give the body a chance to rest. You want to do 7 classes, do a double 1 day. I suggest taking 1 day off. So what's the fix for mistake number 4? Be consistent. If you really want to improve, forget about the 4, 5 days a week minimum. Mistake number 5 is not taking advantage of the shavasana, of when we're doing standing poses in between what we call samastitihi. Some have nicknamed it Tadasana. The break in between the poses is not just so you can recover. The break in between the poses is to complete the process. For example, on the floor pose, we're doing a pose like bow pose. You're holding your feet, you're kicking, 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 kicking. Hold it. You're going to go less in the beginning, more at the end. Remember mistake number 1? You kick up at the very end, and now you relax into reverse shavasana. Now the shavasana time completes the process. Now let's go into even a bigger picture of that. After the standing poses are over in the Barkan Method, I always talk about when we go to our first shavasana, the second most important moment of the class, because now we're relaxing in shavasana. And what happened during the standing poses, one of Bikram's favorite things to say was contraction, relaxation. It's really understanding the mechanics and the dynamic of the pose. We contract the muscles in the posture to go deep into the inner core spot. Remember again, mistake number 1, less in the beginning, more at the end. And then we release it. And when we release out of the pose, that's where the benefit completes. That's where the magic happens. Now that magic is going to happen automatically, but when you're conscious of it, you're actually accelerating the process. You're accelerating the phenomenon. That's why that first shavasana after the standing poses are so powerful. You're laying there, and I suggest laying with your eyes open because it's not over yet. You don't want your body to think it's over. So you're laying in shavasana, and the blood and the oxygen begin to flow into the body. Remember that contraction, relaxation. So we contracted in the standing poses and now relaxing to allow the blood and oxygen and the circulation to flow into the body. And not just the physical body, the ethereal body. So we release a more subtle energy, the prana, the shakti. So as you lay in shavasana, the blood, the oxygen, the prana, the shakti, flowing into these channels we call in yoga world the nadis, N-A-D-I-S. Some studios say there's 72,000 nadis. Some say there's 300,000. Whatever number you want to think about, it's still a lot of these physical and ethereal conduits. And now the blood, oxygen, prana, shakti, flowing into these ethereal conduits, flowing into these nadis, bringing with it balance, bringing with it healing, even evolution. So to have an understanding of this concept, this is what I call the Shiva Shakti concept, the contraction, tightness, or we can even think of the standing poses as the Shiva or the Shaivite energy. And now we get to the floor, we're in the Shakti energy. Now the energy begins to flow. We open up those channels, we open up those nadis, we create a healing, we complete the process, and the magic magic of yoga. So people say to me, okay, well, if after the standing pose is the second most important moment of the class, and what's the most important moment? Drum roll, please.
The suspense is killing me.
The final shavasana. Now you can close your eyes and you go into this wonderful state of present moment consciousness. In the final shavasana, all of the nadis have been opened, blood and oxygen flowing, prana and shakti awakening. It's the most extraordinary benefit the body and the mind can sustain. We balance the body, we quiet the mind, and we nourish the soul. So that's our episode for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. You want to learn all about hot yoga, tutorials, flows, and factoids, hit the like and the subscribe button right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.